Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Sold. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this Saturday morning. I left you with the question of the problems of the home inspection, and the sellers many times feel somewhat defenseless, that they have agreed on pricing, they've agreed on everything, but now all of a sudden the inspection comes and everything can change. And on those rare occasions, they have a situation where buyers can walk away. But you also have the situation of what to do about it. And one of the things that we have found is to be proactive in getting an inspection. The sellers having the home inspection prior, either while it's on the market, very shortly thereof, or before putting it on the market. So you have those situations. Those things won't trip you up. And Kathy, as I mentioned in the last segment, I know you've got situations and stories of not having that home inspection done prior. That has created some serious problems for sellers.
We've had sellers who have chosen not to have that pre-inspection done, and then when the buyers decided to do their inspection, there were a number of items on the list that could have been taken care of and could have saved a lot of heartbreak and hassle had they just done that ahead of time.
Right, and I think so. And just so you know, this is Kathy Popovich. She works with me, so I'm so used to talking with her, but she's our transaction coordinator. She's fantastic at what she does. She's got 15 years plus of experience. So she sees a lot of these things that go on, and that's where the fix comes in. For like $500 or less, you can have all these inspections done beforehand. We talked about termite. We had a situation, Kathy, not that long ago when we had, there was water in the crawl space, if you remember that.
Right.
And the buyer walked. I mean, just literally walked away. And look, we weren't expecting it either, but all of a sudden the seller, again, sellers don't realize that buyers have that right to walk away. That doesn't happen every day, but it can happen. And we've had issues with radon. We've had issues, again, with the termite situation. And the simplest fix is to do that, and do that the day you list your house, maybe a couple of days beforehand. Many times, I don't know, Kathy, it seems to work out. You coordinate many times with that. Timing-wise, is there a good time, bad time?
Really, just when you go on the listing appointments, you usually suggest that people have this done, and that generally is when they decide to take advantage of it. Just having it done right away relieves a lot of the stress that goes along with the home selling process. They already know what may come up on an inspection if the buyers decide to go ahead with their inspection. Many times buyers don't bother with the second inspection because this first inspection is available to them and they know exactly what's been done and what's been repaired, replaced, or whatever.
And that's a good point. And I think, Kathy, that you hit on something that I really loved, because the peace of mind, that's really what you're buying. You're buying peace of mind. It's also great for marketing purposes too, but it's that peace of mind. I gave the analogy of going to the doctor. We worry about a lot of things that never happen. If they do happen, though, to be ahead of it. You're also being, you're pushing the deal towards the buyer. You're not on the defensive mode. Many sellers hate that they have offer and acceptance, and now they got to kind of almost take their beating. And you've ran into that too. I mean, all of a sudden, and I think that people from listening to you, I've heard you talk about many times about how people wish they would have had that home inspection prior to that.
Exactly. Yes. Because it becomes a big surprise to them, when the buyers decide to have this inspection, and the inspection comes back with this list of things that supposedly need repair, or the buyers would, want the sellers to take care of, and the sellers are going, well, we had no idea, how much is this going to cost, and things like that. So if it's done, if you're proactive and do it ahead of time, you're familiar with all of this. You know what's going to come up, and you can, for probably a lesser cost and a lot less stress, if you just get it done and take care of it right away.
And you're right, because now it's a situation, and you ran into this too, is the buyers are now dictating more so to the sellers. Mm-hmm. And that can create problems of what they want and who the people they may want to have it done, whether that's good or bad. Whereas if the seller, you can take those things, as you mentioned, it's a cost savers, peace of mind, it's done, there's no bad thing going to happen to you, and that's a major component.
It also helps with hurt feelings too, because if the seller is feeling bad because they have these things come up in this report, the buyers are feeling anxious because they don't know if the seller is going to take care of all these things, and they're already preparing themselves to fight, to get these things done.
Sure.
So it just relieves stress all the way around.
Sure. That's a great point. I tell you, we're going to be wrapping up this segment. In the next segment, we're going to be talking about maybe the biggest thing that you really need to focus on that many times gets overlooked by either the agent or the sellers, and that's the occupancy inspection. So you want to stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about that more with Kathy. You'll listen to Ready, Set, Sold. Go get the book. ReadySetSold.org, not .com. ReadySetSold.org, not .com. We'll see you in a few.